Today on Public Eye News, the village manager of Laurium spoke with WNMU about bouncing back after a fire has impacted public services. But first, Michigan Technological University receives designation as a premier research school.
Coming up, Reed Hall will have your weather forecast, but we'll look into conditions for the next couple of days. Later, Luke Nina will have a sports report you won't want to miss. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Austin Graham, and this is Public Eye News. Two Upper Peninsula communities are set to receive recycled materials grants from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, or EGLE. Ed's Used Parts and Salvage in Hancock and Rom's in Ironwood were both awarded more than $100,000 in state funds. The grants will help both auto parts stores purchase equipment for composting on site and hire staff to recycle copper from plastic-coated materials. The funds being distributed throughout the state are supposed to improve Michigan's supply chains involving waste material streams. And the Michigan Gaming Control Board has issued cease and desist orders to multiple unlicensed online casinos. The orders come after several illegal sites violated state gaming laws such as the Lawful Internet Gaming Act, the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act, and the Michigan Penal Code. The sites affected offer a range of games such as blackjack and roulette. Unlicensed online casinos have been an increasing concern across the country over the last few years. According to a 2022 American Gaming Association report, Americans bet more than $500 billion yearly with illegal operators.
The Eastern UP Citizens Advisory Council of the DNR will hold their next meeting virtually. The agenda includes updates on forest health and invasive species, fisheries regulation proposals, and more. It will also include reports from various DNR division staff, council officer elections, and subcommittee reports. The council members represent a variety of natural resources and recreation interests that are forwarded to the DNR. For meeting details, you can contact Christy Dahlstrom at dahlstromk@michigan.gov or 906-226-1331. And Michigan Technological University is now designated as an R1 research institution. MTU was awarded this honor by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. The Carnegie Classification is a leading framework that compares and groups accredited and degree-granting institutions. In 2025, of the more than 4,000 degree-granting institutions nationwide, only 187 are recognized as R1 universities. MTU has been named the 4th university in Michigan with this status. The classification will allow MTU to expand research opportunities to students. And the Central Collegiate Hockey Association has announced the 2024-25 all-academic team and 160 student athletes. These athletes are recognized for maintaining a grade point average of 3.0 or higher on a 4.0 scale. 8 Northern Michigan University student athletes were recognized for their academic excellence. These student athletes are Nicholas Ardenaz, Danny Ciccarello, Tyann Ewert, Jacob Lendarski, Zach Michaelis, Ryan Olette, Jacob Peterson, and Matthew Romer. And it's not every day that you get to see a former Wildcat make it to the bright lights of the National Hockey League. Dominic Shine did just that a few weeks ago with the Detroit Red Wings. Public Eye News' own Austin Graham has more.
Over the last month or so, you may have heard the buzz about NMU alum Dominic Shine making his NHL debut for his hometown team, the Detroit Red Wings. Public Eye News had a chance to sit down with Shine to discuss his recent debut, his journey through professional hockey, and what the moment meant to him and his family.
I mean, it was amazing. There was a moment in warm-ups where, I went over to say hi to him, and, we just fist bumped, and he knew it was me. He was all fired up and smiling and stuff. So that's something that I'll never forget, for the rest of my life.
And he also made his NHL debut against former Wildcat and 1991 national champion Jim Hiller, who is the head coach of the Los Angeles Kings. Shine also touched on his time as a Wildcat and how the coaching staff at NMU helped prepare him for his journey to the NHL.
I absolutely loved, being a student at Northern and living up there in the UP. I mean, I love the staff that, that I had for my 4 years. Walt was always pretty straightforward with me. He told me, what he thought of me as a player, what he thought I could be. And, he really helped me get to where I needed to be.
So if there's anything to know about Dominic Shine, and if there's a prime example that he is of anything, it's to never give up on your dreams and keep chasing them.
Just keep your head down and work. Just work hard.
While Shine's back with the Griffins, his contract with the Red Wings could return him to Detroit in the near future. For WNMU TV's Public Eye News, I'm Austin Graham. After this break, Reed will be back with your weather forecast heading into this weekend. Stick around.
When you put voices together, there's an energy in the air.
Keeping Black traditions alive, it's so important.
The story was meant to be told.
This feels so good.
Black people can also have those stories too.
All this and more, now streaming on the PBS app.
Welcome back. I'm Reed Hall, here to take you through our Public Eye News weather report. Taking a look behind me at the Academic Mall. A couple flurries out there, pretty sunny, definitely a cold day. Now taking a look around the Upper Peninsula, mainly clouds, a little sun peeking out throughout, starting out in Houghton where it's going to be 13 degrees. Out in Ironwood it's going to be 7, Iron Mountain's 18, and down in Menominee where it's 21. If we take a look towards the east side of the UP, Escanaba's also at 21, Manastique's at 22, the Sioux is at 23, and they're experiencing a little bit of snow. And back here in beautiful Marquette, it is 19 and partly cloudy. Taking a closer look at our current conditions, winds are out of the northwest at 19 miles an hour, and our barometric pressure is 30.18 inches and rising. Taking a look into tonight, the clouds will clear out. It'll be a low of -1. Winds will be out of the west at 12 miles an hour, and our moon phase will be a waning gibbous. Taking a look into tomorrow, the clouds will return for partly cloudy conditions. A high of 19, a low of 15, and our winds will be out of the south-southwest at 11 miles an hour. Taking a look into the weekend and Monday, starting on Saturday, a high of 25 and a low of 16 with some snow. That snow will persist into Sunday with a high of 19 and a low of 3. And on Monday, it'll be the coldest day yet, with a high of 7 and a low of 0 and cloudy conditions. That's all the time I have for weather. Back to the news desk.
Well, thanks, Reed. It certainly is primetime winter season here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Moving into some developing stories, Kinross Township is asking voters to approve a $3 million millage to build a new fire station. Public Eye News spoke to Township Supervisor Mark Rice, who stated that the current station's lease is up in December. Rice also said that if a new hall isn't built, equipment will fail due to inclement weather and lack of storage. The township is hoping to get appropriations from local and state governments to cover costs of constructing a new building should the millage vote fail. Kinross residents will have the opportunity to vote on this issue in a special election that will be held on Tuesday, May 6th. And the village of Laurium is getting back on its feet thanks to support across the Upper Peninsula. A fire broke out in their public works garage last week, causing a total loss to the building and their equipment. Since then, the township has purchased a garbage truck from Sands Township and received volunteer help in cleanup efforts. Village manager Ian Lewis spoke to WNMU about the support they've gotten so far.
Other businesses saying, hey, we want to get you back up and running. We know you need equipment. We know you need tools to work on equipment. How can we help? And so that's been tremendous for us.
The full interview with Ian Lewis will be available on WNMU's Media Meet Saturday at 6:30. And now, Public Eye News' own Liam Euland-Joy, who is a producer here, is also a member of the NMU Quiz Bowl team. The team competed in a regional tournament in Minneapolis last weekend. Let's go over to Liam with more.
Thanks, Austin. Those familiar with WNMU's programming might be quick to think of the show High School Bowl. You might not know that the competition continues at the collegiate level and the presence that NMU's team has. Let's take a look. It's a university team that receives precious little of the limelight, yet the small but determined NMU Quiz Bowl team is making waves in regional academic contests. Last weekend, the Quiz Bowl team made the trek to the Twin Cities to represent Northern at the NAQT North Sectionals Tournament. 8 NMU players, ranging from freshmen to graduate students, played a total of 18 games against other Midwest institutions. They were divided into an A and a B team and participated in a round-robin style series of matches. But just how is Quiz Bowl played? If you've seen Jeopardy, you already have a good grasp of the rules. 2 teams of typically 4 players each listen intently while a moderator reads an elaborate academic trivia question. The subjects covered by the curricula range from physics to chemistry, literature to classical music, along with pop culture and sports. If a player on either team thinks they know the correct answer, they buzz in using a provided button. Get it right and they net 10 points, 15 if they're quick enough. It's a competitive sport rooted in recollection and reflexes. In the end, NMU's A team finished third out of 10 teams, ending the day with a win-loss record of 7-2. Graduate student Josh Pletcher led that A team, scoring an average of 52 points per game. The team now plans to host a tournament for high schools in the UP in northern Wisconsin, a faculty versus student showdown match, and a trivia night for the campus community. For Public Eye News, I'm Liam Euland-Joy.
The NMU Quiz Bowl team also plans to host their own next tournament, a spring contest against longtime rival Michigan Tech in March. Coming up next, Luke Niddle will bring you today's sports breakdown.
On the next Great Lakes Now, the city takes action to protect its salamanders and creates an attraction.
200-300 people at a time, walking around, staring at the ground, looking at salamanders.
Can Great Lakes ports help the backups on the coasts?
The companies that need to move these goods, they're now asking, why can't we get a ship into Cleveland?
And news from around the lakes.
Tonight at 10:30.
Welcome back to Public Eye Sports. I'm your host, Luke Niddle, and I'll be taking you through our Thursday breakdown. Leading off on the ice, hockey's biggest international stage in 2025 kicked off in Montreal last night with the start of the Four Nations face-off. The Canadians wasted no time against Sweden in Game 1, scoring their first goal just 56 seconds into the game. Canada would go on to hold on to that lead on their home turf, beating the Swedes by the skin of their teeth in a 4-3 overtime victory, thanks in part to a hat trick of assists from Sidney Crosby. Tonight, the Stars and Stripes take on Finland in their first game of the round robin, where Detroit Red Wings center Dylan Larkin and U.S. captain Austin Matthews will look to bolster the red, white, and blue offense against the Finns. Puck drop for tonight is set for 8 p.m. And shifting things over to the floorboards, the Pistons and Bulls went head-to-head in their final game before the All-Star break, and the Pistons left their mark on the Windy City. It was the same story, different day for Detroit as they walked out of the United Center on a 4-game heater with a 128-110 dub. For Chicago, it seems like they need to get their three-point shooting back from the Monstars of Space Jam as they shot 22% from downtown, just 1 point higher than Tuesday's 10 of 47 showcase. Detroit heads into the break as the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture, and they will take a well-deserved break, except for Cade Cunningham, who will go off and rep the Pistons in San Francisco during All-Star weekend. And ending things off with college hoops, the NMU men's and women's basketball teams are set to host Lake Superior State tonight. The Cats hope to keep the good times rolling against LSSU as they lashed the Lakers 75-37 the last time the two squads encountered each other. Northern will be relying on the at-will scoring of J.C. Weisbrod as her 2.78 threes a game puts her just outside top 10 in the nation at 11th. As for the men, they'll have their hands full trying to contain the number 22 team in Division II, but NMU boasts a 4-game win streak heading into tonight. The Wildcats will also show off a top 20 defense in the country, only allowing 66.5 points per game. Tip-offs are at 5:30 and 7:30 p.m., which you can catch on Flow Sports. That's all I have for sports. Back to the news desk.
Thank you very much for that sports update there, Luke. Bianca, it's nice to see that Northern is trying to get back to the GLIAC Conference Championship game, but I hear you have an extra story for us here.
I do. I think it's very interesting. The UP Children's Museum will host their second Creativity Series today. A Valentine's Day themed dance will be from 5 to 7:30 for all to come and enjoy. Experience hands-on crafts and free Culver's frozen custard.
That sounds pretty interesting. Free? What was that? What was that?
Free
again?
custard from Culver's?
That sounds like a great deal to me. It really does. Have you ever been to Culver's before? Or have you ever,
many times.
What's your favorite thing to
times.
get at Culver's, I guess?
Honestly, a concrete mixer with some Oreo and cookies. That's where I'm at.
You can never go wrong with that. That's all the time we have at Public Eye News today. I'm Austin Graham.
And I'm Bianca Kroll.
We'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.